this is MJ and Newton, and welcome to another artist vlog. This time I thought I would tell you a little story about how I got my artwork into the subways. Um, it's very interesting how this happened. So the first year that I moved into Toronto, it was in 2013, and I remember when I was taking the subway, I always have notebooks with me. So I had this little notebooks where I was writing a bunch of ideas that was always with me in my bag. And when I was riding the subway, I was looking at the little advertising boxes there, and some of them were empty, and most of them had like advertising random stuff, but a lot of them were empty. And I was thinking like how cool it would be if these little boxes would be used for public art, like that there would be artwork in there as opposed to advertising all the time. So it's a random idea that I had, and I tend to have a bunch of these type of random ideas. So I wrote it down in my little notebook, and I still have the notebook with me. And I kind of forgot about it. A couple years passed by, I think 1 or 2 years passed by. There's a contest by Pattison Outdoor, which is basically the main advertising company for the subway of Toronto, where they asked to send sketches of people in the subway to put in their in the screens that they have. So they had people from Toronto, they had people I think from Edmonton and New York. So they chose a couple artists, and they basically alternated the pictures, the drawings of artists from these three cities, and I was one of the chosen one, which is really cool. So that went on for I think it was about a month. So it was like a little art exhibit for the users of the subway or the buses, I think in Edmonton. And whenever they would look at the screen every so often, instead of seeing advertising, they would see like a rotation of different sketches of people in the subway. So that went on for a month, and then nothing. I don't think they did it the year after. The year after that, I get an email from them asking if I would be okay with them printing some of the sketches that I made and put them in the subway. Basically, the idea that I had like 2 or 3 years before to actually have art instead of advertising in the subway train. I was like, of course, that would be awesome. So that happened. So it's one of these things that's kind of like almost like a manifestation of an idea that I had in my mind, and that just kind of appeared, which is really cool. So it was really cool to get like a bunch of messages, email, tags of people that would see our sketches in the subway and like be happy for me and take them pictures of themselves with the sketches, and like, oh, like I saw your name I saw your name in the subway, it's your art, this is so cool. So that went on for about a year, and then they decided to do a contest again to be able to add more artwork in the subway. And I thought my artwork was going to be transferred to the other artists and stuff like that. But no, they kept our art and they just added extra art on it, which means that my art has been in the subway for 2 years or something like that. And it's so cool to every so often to take the subway and be like, oh, that's my lady, oh, that's my other sketch that I did. Something really interesting happened after that. That was last year. I got an email from this lady who said, I keep getting messages from my friends saying that it's the picture in the subway is me. So it really looks like it's me, where did you take it and stuff like that. So I told her most likely where I was when I sketched that person, and more or less I still have the date on it, so the time. And she's like, yeah, that was most likely me because I was taking the subway around there a lot. Can I buy your artwork, the original? I'm like, sure. So we met. She's a super nice lady, and she bought my artwork, like I just cut it out of my sketchbook and I just gave it to her, and she paid me for it, which was like such a cool validation as an artist, that people actually appreciate the things that you do. And and I got to even see the artwork framed in her space, which was like, I don't know, it gives you that really cool feeling of like, this is what art is supposed to be. It's supposed to make you feel good, and it has like a place of honor at our home. So I was very, very and still am very, very thankful for that, and thankful for the benefit of having more art in public. And it's kind of interesting that I'm talking about this now. I have this this inkling that we need more art in public space, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing more art, because I can see how people react to the fact that they're actually seeing something beautiful, something that more relates to them, something that's not trying to sell them something, but something that kind of brings them back to who they are, what they are about, you know, like what life is supposed to be about. It's not just supposed to be about buy this thing because it's going to make you happy. It's more a thing about appreciate the things that are around you, pay attention to the people around you, like you're valuable, you're important. So I think it's a really good thing that Pattison Outdoor decided to integrate more art into spaces like that, like the advertising space inside the subway. And I think they realize how successful it is because of the way that people react to being able to see art. And I've had comments from people saying that I really usually don't notice anything. Like, you know, people kind of like, they see so much advertising that they turn a blind eye to it. They're like, okay, like I'm done. But that person said, but like I noticed the artwork. I noticed when I went into the subway, I noticed that it was art. And the thing is, it's art of people that are just, you know, like them, the diversity of Toronto, what people are doing and stuff like that, but almost elevated into you know, fine art status, because it's like there's beauty in all of that and people kind of forget to look into that. So yeah, that's like a little story about how what I imagined came to fruition. And it's still, whenever I go, like it's still like it's been a little bit over 2 years now, and I still get this feeling of like it feels good, and also it's impressive. And I'm grateful that every so often I get into the subway and I see my art there. And one of the things that was really very surreal, I remember one day I just went to the subway, I was just sitting down, and I look up, and that was one of these rare things where I look up and I see my artwork. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I turn around and I see my art there. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then I get up to get out of my, there was like three prints of my artwork that I could see within where I was sitting. So I took a little video of it, and if I can find it, I'll add it to this vlog. And then I got up, and on the two sides of the door as I was getting out, my artwork was on either side. I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's going to happen ever again, but that was really cool. So yeah, I'm very grateful to Pattison Outdoor for doing this. And the cool thing is that they're doing it again. And I applied for it again. I don't know if I'm going to get it, because I'm sure they have to give a chance for everybody to participate. But they're doing it again, and they extended the deadline to be able to submit to have your artwork in the subway. So the rule is it has to be artwork that's been made mostly on site, like in the subway this year, of like people of diverse background and stuff like that, or like also like the conductors and stuff like that in the subway. And you can submit. I'll put the link below if you're a local artist and you would like to participate, and you like to participate in bringing more art and bringing more beauty into the city. I feel like it's a very important thing to do. People don't realize how much it impacts people until they get to experience it. And that's one of the reasons I love to do art, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get more of my artwork in the public through things like this or through murals. So speaking of murals, if you have a space that is public and you're looking to add more art and you're looking for an artist in Toronto, hit me up. My contact information will be below. So yeah, I just want to tell you that little story about how I feel like I manifested having my art in the public realm. I have tons of other ideas, so hopefully the other idea I had will will come to fruition soon. I'll let you know if it happens. Yeah, so other than that, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. All right, bye. Should we do another one? Woo!